'Tis done. And I deserve myself a good drink. No, this is not beer. It's Mike's Hard Cherry Lemonade. Yes, I'm drinking alcohol tonight because God damn it, I deserve it. Hey guys, what's up? It's BigJackFilms here, and we did it. We finally got it done. We finished the 100th episode. Hallelujah. Oh my god, I am so relieved and happy that we finally finished this thing after months of work, months of production. We got like so much done, man. Like, we started this thing around January, I want to say. Yeah, it was around January. Hang on, just got a little thing there. We started around January, basically, doing this episode, writing it and everything. Actually, it was about a year in because we actually started, believe it or not, around last year, actually, because me and Josh were talking about doing an episode on it. And I'm just going to bring that down. But yeah, so, yeah, guys, thank you so much on watching the 100th episode. It's now part 3 is officially out, came out tonight. So yeah, we're just here celebrating. It's just a little after party. I am drinking Mike's Hard Lemonade because I think I deserve a drink after 6 months worth of work, essentially. By the way, if you guys are of age of drinking, try black cherry lemonade. It's actually really good. It's like a cherry flavored candy. Hey Thomas, good to see you. Actually, while we're at it, very special thanks to Thomas. Can you just put the chat on here? Just chat it on here. Guys, go support his channel. He doesn't do much yet in terms of videos, but he is working on stuff. Basically, he is the voice of Gablor, the Dark Lord, on our show. So, guys, go subscribe to Heron Vortis. He's an amazing voice actor, really cool guy to talk to. He does the voice of Gablor, the voice of Plinkett, and many others. So, I guess what we're doing here is essentially just kind of discussing what went on during the episode, just celebrating, essentially, and yeah, just having a good time overall now that this is done. The first thing I should say is I want to give a massive thank you to everybody involved on this one, because without you guys, we probably wouldn't get this episode made. The first person I definitely want to thank is BATTYALANA on Instagram. BATTYALANA is known as our Android 18, our live-action Android 18 on the show. She started off on a few episodes beforehand. She's one of the best actresses we've worked with. An amazing talent, an amazing cosplayer. And guys, honestly, I want to put a link down below to her Instagram. Guys, go follow her. She deserves a lot more followers than expected, and I'm sure she would really appreciate you guys following her. She's amazing. So, yeah, you still got to do part 3. Go watch part 3 and come back. We'll be here all night, man. But yeah, BATTYALANA, big thank you to her for playing 18 in this episode and shooting. Link down below to that. The other thing, person I want to thank, the other 18s involved, essentially. We've got a few. I want to thank Queen 18, who's on YouTube as well. I want to thank BAETEEN, who, also known as the Real Android 18 on Twitter. She voices 18 in the flashbacks and in the animation form. Again, big thank you to those two. Link down below to their channels. Definitely go check them out. Another great talent on the site. Another person I want to thank, JTISREBORN, Sean of JTISREBORN. If you're watching this, man, you did an incredible voice for Cell. I couldn't have asked for anybody better. You nailed it out of the park. So, guys, go subscribe to JTISREBORN. An amazing voice actor, great Godzilla reviewer. He's done a ton of great reviews on the website and on his channel, but he's a great Cell, so go check him out. Another person, Logan of HEWY TOONMORE of HEWY's Animated Movie Reviews, provided the voice of Goku on this episode. The reason I chose Logan was mostly because, honestly, it was just I was kind of last minute, kind of looking around on Discord and everything for somebody to voice Goku. I did reach out to a few people. I actually did reach out, believe it or not, to some of the people at Funimation to do voices, but unfortunately they couldn't because of contract reasons. So at least I got to talk to them, which was nice. So definitely, and another thing, I do want to thank Funimation, the official releases for Dragon Ball, putting that out there. Go check those guys out as well. They've been great. So with HEWY TOONMORE, I thought, well, he kind of did his review of, I think, Cooler's Revenge, which is one of the Dragon Ball Z movies. If you can find that episode, check it out. But I kind of thought he kind of knows the franchise, and I think he would have been a nice Goku, and he did a splendid job. So thank you, HEWY TOONMORE, for voicing Goku on this episode. A few other people I want to thank, my buddy Christopher, my buddy Gord, who voiced Vegeta, Piccolo, and Krillin. They were great kind of last-minute things, and Gord also did the narration. You know, the guy who's like, last time on Dragon Ball Z. He did all that, which is great. But again, special thanks to those guys. Another person I want to thank, especially, obviously, the writers and people who helped me write this episode, Eric, RICEDUKE, Joshua Patello, the Endgamer 64, Studio 95, Bradley Dunn. They were a huge help in writing this episode and coming up with a few jokes, which was great. Eric also provided the voice of Gohan. So again, thank you. Link down below to RICEDUKE's channel. Go subscribe to him. He does amazing Game of Thrones reviews. Another person I want to thank, who I actually might be meeting soon for the first time, Mason McCleary. Mason McCleary is a buddy from Australia. He's helped us with a couple of videos. He's done amazing special effects for a lot of our work, and he did some of the masking on this episode for some of the animation. So a major thanks to Mason McCleary. Again, link down below to his channel. I also want to thank Evan Matthews, who has been a huge production hand on all of our projects, going back all the way to Kong. And what's great about him is that he played Galblor in a few of the shots of him, like, just kind of, you know, in the suit. So again, thank you to him. Link down below. I'm trying to think who else I want to thank. I do want to thank a few you Dragon Ball Z YouTubers out there. First being, I think it's Drogskin. I can't pronounce his name, but he's mostly famous for doing those Dragon Ball Z fan fights. He was a huge helping hand. I kind of reached out to him and said, I need some animation from some of these characters. So he was happy enough to send us some of his old files of some of his old masking animation, which was great. So a big thanks to him. Link down below. He does great videos. I also want to thank DBZ Green Screen Projects. Their archive of animation that was a huge help in this episode. So go check out those guys. And also, you know what? Fuck it. I want to thank the cast and crew of Dragon Ball Evolution, because even though it's a really bad movie, it gave me really a reason to start doing reviews. 10 years ago, I did my first review, and that was on Evolution after seeing it twice in theaters. Poor me. And 10 years later, I'm still doing reviews. It's something I love to do for you guys, and I've had a blast making them, and without this movie, I would have done. So, you know, again, thanks to the cast and crew, Justin, Chapman, everybody, but again, just thanks to everybody, and especially thanks to all of you who, I did not expect the first part to reach over 1,200 views, which it did, which is a huge hit for us. Part 2 hasn't gotten that much. It's only gotten like 800, but that's still pretty good. That's still a decent hit. So again, thank you all so much for watching. You know, like the 100th episode, it was really worth the time and effort put in. Aside from that, it was just a lot of fun. It was just a lot of fun to put together. A lot of fun filming. A huge stress now, is a huge weight has been taken off my shoulder, essentially, making this episode, which is fantastic. Yeah, it's just really kind of, you know, that time when you thought you liked Evolution. Yeah, I know. It's kind of mixed for me. Honestly, my real thoughts is that it is kind of a guilty pleasure. Like, I can still watch it and kind of make fun of this stupid fucking movie. But honestly, the whole speech at the end of Part 3, and a lot of the ending to Part 3, did come from the heart. Because when I was thinking of doing Evolution, a lot of people were thinking, oh, you're just riding on the bandwagon. It's 10 years later. Everybody's reviewing this movie. But the thing is with most people who review this film is that it's mostly the fact that it's a bad adaptation. And I wanted to give a different spin of why I hated it. And that was mostly because, you know, it was mostly because I just really did not care for it. I just thought, like, because as a kid, I grew up with Dragon Ball. You saw the speech in Part 3. That really came from the heart, and that was real legit shit for me. And that's what the movie ultimately did not deliver. And that's why I hate it. Most people who review this movie don't admit to that. Like, most people say, oh, it's bad because Goku's white. It's bad because it's poorly cast, low budget, and oh, it's fucking terrible, and they rushed 150 episodes in 90 minutes. Those are all reasonable reasons to hate it, but a lot of people didn't like. I hate it because it didn't really give me a reason to give a shit about these characters, as I did with the show. So that's why I hated it. Now, the other question you might be, there's a couple questions you guys might have about the episode, and I want to keep it in that route. I want to keep, like, kind of, you know, questions about the episode in general and what's to come. A lot of people are wondering what the next episode's going to be. Well, it's not going to be Terminator. I know I'm setting up Terminator in the post-credit scenes. Thank you very much, David. Thank you very much. And by the way, we're very close to 4,900 subscribers, and 100 more will hit 5,000, which would be fantastic. But anyway, so I am planning the Terminator series around 2020. Because I just have something planned for that. I have a story for that. We have a story. I can say that right now. We don't have a script, but we do have a story we want to tell. So expect the Terminator movies to be reviewed around 2020. However, the next review hopefully will be out next week. I'm making no promises, but it's going to be because this was a very big project, I am going to try to do a bit more of a smaller review. The next one I'm going to do is a simple review of J.J. Abrams' Super 8. That's going to be the next review, and it's mostly because I just need something to relax to. And I really enjoy Super 8. So that's a movie I've been wanting to talk about for a while, ever since it came out. So for me, that's going to probably be the next review. It's going to be a simple, small review, casual review, like the old school ones. So definitely look forward to that, hopefully next week or when it comes out. But I'm going to start working on it this week, hell, even tonight. Ready Player One, Brian. That will be the season 4 finale around Christmas, hopefully. But, yeah, so that's the question about the next episode. Batman is coming. Batman is coming, David. That is one of our next big projects, is Batman. So, oh god, cats. Yes, guys, I've heard about the Comic-Con stuff. I've heard it. It's great. I saw, actually, funny enough, today, they also did the Guinness World Record for the largest amount of people shouting Kamehameha. I upped the ante by just saying, I want a t-shirt of that. Kamehameha motherfucker. Not motherfucker, it's motherfucker, like how Sam Jackson says it. That was the idea, and I love that. That was one of the best scenes in the video. And speaking of destruction, doing that Kamehameha, the other question you guys might have is, did we actually destroy our DVD copy of the movie? Well, I can answer it like this. You see this? This is what's left of the DVD. This is what's left of the fucking DVD of Dragon Ball Evolution. Yes, we actually did destroy it, and it is falling apart. Look at that. It looks like Anakin Skywalker's corpse. We actually did destroy it. We did light it on fire, and yep, still smells of gasoline and chemicals. I just figured, you know, like, I've had this DVD since the movie came out. I had it autographed, which is a huge shame. And honestly, I just figured, like, if I'm gonna really say how much of a piece of shit it is, I have to literally destroy the DVD. And it's not just another copy. I had to destroy my legitimate copy. So, thankfully, I have the movie on digital. I might get the Blu-ray. I will get this replaced. But this is just a simple Blockbuster rented DVD I bought back in the day. But yeah. The first thing I did, actually, was cut it in half. And you might be thinking, oh, did I cut it with a samurai sword like James Rolfe did with Ninja Turtles 3? No, I took it to a grinder. I did, and it has, what's cool is, if you notice, the disc is still in there. So I just cut it in half and with a grinder and then just dunked it in gasoline. Like on both sides, on the edges of the side, dunked it in gasoline, set up the shot, and I lit it on fire, and then just dropped it, and then just put more gasoline on it. Yes, it still smells like propane or like gasoline or whatever. Oh, it smells so bad. Look how ugly this looks. Oh, and that's another thing. The disc, you cannot get this disc out. It is sealed shut. That's how burnt this plastic is. And it is falling apart. There's literally like shards and like shaves of it coming off. But yeah, this is what's left of the Dragon Ball Evolution DVD. I'm going to want to get this framed. Just get this framed so here lies the film that we destroyed. But yeah, there it is. It's just gone. It's just, as it says, it's gone. It's done. Yes, Mr. BigJackFilms. Yes, Mr. Frodo. It's over. But there it is. Everybody's opinion on Dragon Ball Evolution. A burnt, charred DVD that looks like a really bad burn victim. That's all I gotta say. But yep, this thing still smells of oiled gasoline shit. And I just love it. Just the sheer smell of destruction of like one of the worst movies ever made. But just appreciate that. Just appreciate that. So there you go. So yeah, guys, again, thank you all so much for wondering the 100th episode. It was fantastic to work on. I think at some point I will be doing a compilation of the entire thing in one video, which would be like almost 2 hours. So it says longer than the fucking movie itself. So that's going to be in the works. And speaking of Star Wars, you guys bring up Star Wars. Yes, we're still filming the prequel trilogy. It's coming out soon, and we're going to be basically, we're still working on that. But I do have plans to put the original trilogy parts, fan films of it, in a compilation as a fan film itself. But there's that. So that's happening, and yeah, I don't know what's going on with Nick Jackson. Nick Jackson is one of our contributors on YouTube. He's a really great guy. Does some great reviews. Really fantastic guy. We are planning to put him in a future video that's actually super fucking cool. So, but that's going to be one of our big projects. But anyway, so let's keep the questions at just the 100th episode. If you guys have any questions about the production, and no requests, we're going to keep this a request-free live stream. So I'm not going to answer any of your request questions. But if you have questions about the 100th episode, this is the time, because this is a party celebrating 100th episodes. Basically, if you have questions about the 100th episode or episodes prior up to this point, let us know, and we will discuss them. So that's that. So let me drink some Mike's Hard. You did good on Kikyo and Yasha Dinosaur 101. How long was the process of making this review from concept to upload? Again, the idea kind of sprung about a year ago. Me and Josh were talking about what we could do with this film. And we were thinking, because again, season 4 was supposed to be 1 year. But because of a bunch of other things that happened, we had to split it in 2 years. And that's probably going to be the norm from now on with seasonal reviews. Is basically one season every 2 years, essentially. So basically for me, it started just kind of coming up with an idea. The original idea actually was that it was a lot of Josh's writing. We were going to do some sort of like mythical quest to find the Dragon Balls and use that to wish the movie or whatever. But I wanted to go more the route of talking about Z, because that's what I grew up with. I mean, I watched Dragon Ball, but not as much as like Z or GT or whatever. So for me, it was really just kind of just paying me in terms of doing this review. It was not just talking about it from my perspective and the personal reasons, but it was also to pay tribute to Dragon Ball Z when we grew up with it as a kid. In doing so, I did a ton of research on the film, and I also really watched a lot of Geekdom 101's videos. Geekdom 101 has a huge archival history of Dragon Ball, from like television airings to Toonami. Great set of videos. Go check out his channel. But he was a huge help in like doing research on this episode. I knew I wanted to so like as I was coming up with the plot and the story and wanting to review this, I kind of thought this would be a good opportunity. Also, the main idea in terms of the story was to pretty much answer the question in the show's logic: where did Android 18 come from? Why is she here? Why is she with my character in terms of this little relationship they have instead of Krillin's? And I've had that kind of all locked in my head, like, since the show's conception. And the idea of, like, because of the continuity, it doesn't make sense. Because something I like to do now with my show is what I call world weaving. And that's where I can take my show and put it into the continuity of certain franchises. So when you watch the Star Wars saga, for example, it actually takes place 30 to 40 to 50 years after the Rise of Skywalker. So it's after the Skywalker saga's ended, and it's a whole new beginning for the franchise and so on. So you look at that. So with world weaving, I want to do that with Dragon Ball, where I kind of weave my character into the mythos and the idea that because he's a world traveler, he's a time traveler, kind of. The 18 that's in this series is actually from the Future Trunks timeline. Now, why my character as a young kid at age like 10 is in that timeline, it's a bit confusing. I might try to weave it in later, but it was just more to get the idea of like why I'm attached to this character, why I enjoy this character of 18, and yeah, just basically explaining why this one's here, and actually that it's the Future Trunks 18 that did survive Trunks' blast when he came back. So, because think about it, you watch that sequence at the end of the Cell Saga, you don't see her body. You see nothing but dirt. Now, you could say she just evaporated like, you know, the Thanos snap, but no, that's not the case. I like to think if there's no body, if you don't see the body, you don't see shit. So for me, the idea of my character just basically stopped time right there to pull her in and grab her and save her before she was exploded and reprogram her and everything, thanks to me and Dr. Terawatt. Kind of the idea. So that was kind of the main premise, is just, you know, we had one concept, but then we had a concept that was more paying tribute to the show itself and also trying to explain where 18 came from. So there's that conception. And then production really didn't start until, I want to say, January. And it mostly relied on casting 18. Now, one person did ask in the chat, who's the girl who plays 18? She's smoking hot. You know, no, I can't be a judge of that. But my main progression, my main process was to get a good actress. It wasn't about the attractiveness, just about getting a good actress. So the story behind that actually stems back to, I want to say, January, around December, January. I went to a con with a couple of buddies in January. It was at the Japanese Cultural Center in Toronto. And I met this girl and her cosplay friend. They were cosplaying 17 and 18. And they were really good at what they did. So I kind of just figured, like, you know, I really want to get at some point somebody to play 18. I did have a few other people I had interested, but unfortunately I couldn't reach out to them. So I decided, like, I started talking to this cosplayer from this con. And I reached out to her on Facebook, and I reached out to her on Instagram. She's known as BATTYALANA. Again, guys, link in the description. Go check out her Instagram. She's a fantastic cosplayer. But anyway, I kind of reached out to her, said, you want to do this role? And she's like, yeah, maybe. So I sent her the script for, believe it or not, the first time we worked together was the Valentine's Day special. And at first I was thinking, she's just going to reject this. She's going to be like, fuck this shit. This is weird. But surprisingly, she enjoyed the script. She thought it was hilarious. And she was all on board. And she updated her cosplay. It looked fantastic. And we've been working with her ever since on a ton of projects. We got a ton of projects lined up to work together on. She's one of the best actresses, honestly, I've worked with in my whole career. Not just because she plays a great 18, but because she's just a great actress. She's also a very hands-on filmmaker, because, like, when you're setting up shots, she'll come up with ideas, and I'm like, I really like that. So she's also kind of an ambitious filmmaker and stuff. She kind of wants to get in that, which is great. She has, you know, sort of that kind of into photography kind of stuff, which I think is terrific. So, lady, again, thank you so much, Titanosaurus. But anyway, BATTYALANA, yeah. So, we just started working, and that was one of the main courses, was to film the main finale to the 100th episode. So we filmed that around early April, because, believe it or not, this is the funny story about the 100th episode. It was originally supposed to be one part. And the original intent was to get it out for the exact release of the 10th anniversary of the film, which was around April. As more was getting added, I knew I couldn't finish it in time. So I thought, okay, I'll split it into two parts. I'll put it out one part on April and the first part in May, the beginning of May. And May will be part of our anime lineup. That was not the case. And then it got even more progressive, that the fact that we're not going to finish this on the exact time. So it became 3 parts, because it just got so fucking long. This is probably one of the longest reviews of the movie, and I just needed more time. I wanted to make it perfect. I wanted to make it awesome. So yeah, a lot that was in there ended up going in there, and it just made the production a lot longer. So, but I'm overall really happy with how it turned out. I'm really glad we finally got this done. It was a huge stress reliever off me, and I had an amazing time with all the people working on it. Planning on combining the 3 into one video? Yes, at some point, Brian. Maybe at the end of the year, we'll put it out as a full compilation video. But for now, I just want to keep it as the main review, 3 parts, because I also like because the thing is, if I do kind of a compilation, I'll have to cut out the recap parts, which I think are hilarious. Gore did a really good job on that. Will I do a backstory when I got my channel? What do you mean, in terms of the plot of the show, or in terms of me starting my channel? Because I can answer the channel part. The main thing is, like, I really started YouTube, actually, believe it or not, around September, August 2007. I've been on the channel, I've been on YouTube for over a decade. And I started right when I started high school. And I've enjoyed it. I was there right from the beginning, so I'm able to build myself up a bit of an audience in that time. So, basically, that's just kind of the thing. It's just kind of basically, I had, that's how I started my channel, was just kind of like, I started on an old channel, but I wanted to do more review. Actually, the original intent of this channel was, this was the bonus channel for the longest time, and it was meant to be a backup channel in case of copyright issues, because I wanted to do reviews on a separate channel to avoid copyright on my main channel. That was not the case, and this one ended up becoming the more popular channel. So there's that, essentially. Was basically kind of the idea that we basically moved everything to this channel, especially around the 10th anniversary of us making YouTube videos. So this is now the official channel. And yeah, the old channel is essentially being abandoned. It might be there as a backup, but it's being abandoned for the time being. So at least that channel has about 3,000 subscribers. In case I need to backlog anything, I will go to that channel. Anyway, so yeah, there's a lot that went on this production. Another question a lot of people ask is, how did I do the animation? In terms of combining live action animation, sort of like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Well, that was the intention of the show itself, is to be kind of this sort of online critic meets Roger Rabbit, but with anime. And when doing that, the thing is with doing that, like, the original concept was actually to use cosplayers. Unfortunately, everybody I wanted to get on board couldn't do it. There weren't many cosplayers I could reach out to, except for BATTYALANA, which is unfortunate. Well, which is great. But in terms of, like, other characters, I figured, screw it, I'll do an animation. But then I thought, wait, I gotta mask everything. It's gonna look like ass. But thankfully, about a year ago, a couple people started uploading Dragon Ball Z themed maskings. And they basically had essentially put that all, put all their animation stuff with all these characters on their channel. So I just asked permission to grab them. They said sure. So I grabbed them, and I've been using them on the video. I also use footage from the show, because you gotta remember with Dragon Ball Z, guys, half the time on this show, they're either against a green backing or a blue backing, which made it very easy to figure out. It made it a lot easier. In terms of, like, putting everything together. And then there was also a ton of background images I could use and everything. So overall, it came out really fucking well. Like, I'm really surprised. Like, another thing I did for this episode was actually, I ended up buying a brand new green screen for this episode. And this is a funny story. So my old green screen that we've had since our Kong days, which is about a 25 by 15-foot green screen, unfortunately started to show age. It was really old, really brightened up. It was starting to get really discarded, and the effects weren't looking as good. So I kind of figured I got to get a new green screen, but I wanted to get a professional one this time. And so I looked on Kijiji, which is the Canadian version of Craigslist, and thankfully I found a legit good green screen about the same size as ours, and it was about $50. So I told the guy, I'll take it, I'll grab it. So I went down and grabbed it. And the funniest thing, when the guy, because we bought this green screen specifically for this episode and for future projects, but the guy who had it had a Goku, like a Roshi kind of turtle, like the orange gi of Dragon Ball t-shirt. And I was just like, how coincidental is that we're buying this for a Dragon Ball special, and the guy who's selling it is a Dragon Ball fan. So I told him all about it, and he's like, dude, that sounds fucking awesome. I'm like, I know, right? So it was just great to kind of, get that kind of, like, convenience there as well. So that was also fantastic. Yeah, it was a really hard production to put together. I just remember, that there was times I thought, I'm not going to finish this. It's going to take forever. And I was just, you got to remember, guys, doing this episode, because of so much involved, I actually went literally maybe about 2 or 3 weeks without sleep. just editing day in and day out. And honestly, guys, I'm exhausted from this, and that's why the next review is going to be very simple. But man, it took a lot out of me. But it's all worth it. Honestly, like there were times I would spend 6 hours at night editing this thing because I have to like get this fucking, I'm thinking just gotta get done. There were literally times, I'm not kidding, I'm just gonna move this just in case it stills. There were literally times I'd be editing on my computer and it'd be so slow that I would just be like, like it really drove me fucking nuts to do that. So, but it was all fun. It was all worth it just to get those shots, making it look fantastic. Time and time again, your productions are timeless. This one is no so memorable moment of this channel. Okay. But yeah, it was really just kind of, I also wanted to do kind of the ultimate review of the movie. And not just in terms of reviewing it, but also paying massive tribute to Dragon Ball and saying, and kind of like, because the idea of my show too is, as my show's evolved in the last few years since it started in 2013, it's really gone from, you know, history of certain franchises with Kong and so on, to basically becoming a show where it became like kind of this Roger Rabbit thing in college, but it was like anime characters. But now it's sort of become this sort of world-weaving review / fan film perspective. Basically, as we're reviewing a movie, we're also doing a fan film with that franchise. And it's just kind of fun to do that because it allows you to kind of take the projects you've always wanted to make and maybe not have time for and convert it and kind of combine the two together, which is always fantastic. Was Cell always the main villain for this episode, or do you have other ideas like Broly or Frieza? Cell was always the main concept for the main villain for the final battle. And that's mostly because I didn't want to use Frieza because Frieza's over fucking rated. Like he's been used too much, in my opinion. Frieza has been used way too much. Broly's overrated. I wanted to give Cell a spotlight because, funny enough, a lot of people pointed this out with Dragon Ball Super in the Tournament of Power. Why didn't they just get Cell? Because I think Cell would have been a better fighter on the battlefield. So I kind of thought, I'll fucking do it. I'll put Cell in my video. And this was when we were coming up with the concept. It was around the time the Tournament of Power started. So for me, I was like, yeah, I'll put Cell in my episode. That'll work a lot better. So with Cell, it was more just like, I just wanted him in there because I think that would have been better. Plus, it makes a good rivalry with 18, which is fantastic because these two bicker with each other a lot. Yeah, so for me, putting Cell in was ideal. Yes, he's a henchman to the Overlord of Evil. But, you know, I like to put a few characters in there. You know, my character, think about it. My character has fought in a great array of bad guys. He's fought in Captain Roth of the Seven Seas. He's fought in Cobra Commander. He's fought in Earthquakes. He's fought in Jaws. He's battled, Darth Vader in the Empire. He's battled Sith. You know, he's fought a lot of bad guys. So I think he can really hold on his own. But it was overall fantastic to do this whole Cell fight. And it was more of a tribute to the best moment on the show, and that's where Gohan becomes Super Saiyan 2. We'll review more Dragon Ball stuff, maybe down the line, maybe do like a discussion. Like I did do a Let's Talk on Dragon Ball GT and what my opinion was on the my favorite arc of Dragon Ball GT, which is the Super 17 arc. So if you want to go check that out, look that up on our channel. That was a great video. That video actually kind of underperformed, believe it or not. And I think it was at the time people thought, why is this kid talking about Dragon Ball? He doesn't know what he's doing. But now that I've kind of shown that, I'm like, okay, he knows what he's doing. Because the trick is, too, guys, I want to kind of... I know I'm mostly known as the King Kong guy on YouTube. Hell at G-Fest, that's what I was always called. And yeah, I didn't go to G-Fest this year. I am planning next year, though. That is my goal, to go back to G-Fest next year, me, all you guys. But, you know, I started off as the King Kong guy, but maybe there's a part of me that is trying to break away from that and kind of do more out there stuff, like something that's not Kong related. So I started with Jurassic Park, that became a huge hit, and I've done other movies. So I like to break out and do other films because I feel like it's just more than just Kong for me. Where is going to be for episode 101? It's already out. It came out a month ago. It is on Why Gundam Seed Isn't Really That Bad. If you want to see the 100th one episode, go check it out on the playlist for Season 4 or on the Complete Series playlist. But the next episode, which is technically 102, will be on Super 8. I am planning to review JJ Super 8. That's going to be the next review. It's going to be a small review, but just something to get out there. Again, guys, I'm not doing request questions. This is just mostly solely the, basically about the 100th episode. Or anything Dragon Ball related if you got questions. But yeah, we'll save, essentially the requests. Save all your requests for Wednesday when we do our annual live stream, which we're going to get back to. Also, a couple other videos that are coming out soon. I got more behind the scenes on Kong coming out. I've got another Lego Castle episode in the works, and I've also got a review of Crawl by my buddy Evan. Evan saw the movie Crawl, so he's going to be doing an opening night for us, because apparently you guys really respond to him. You really like him. So he's going to do a review of Crawl probably this weekend. I'm going to put that out probably either Saturday or Sunday. So something to look forward there, because those are easy to put together. But yeah, so let's see here. Episode 200. Oh, we got a long way for that, man. I don't know what I'm going to do for the 200th episode. How do you mix live action with animation? Like I said, I had a huge helping hand from a couple of people. Mason McCleary, DRANDOSK or whatever. He does these amazing Dragon Ball fan fights. As well as a few maskers on YouTube that helped a lot. Is your Android 18 dead plot-wise? No. As you saw in the 100th episode, she survived. She actually did survive the battle. She just got a flesh wound. It's basically, yeah, she just basically got, a damage on the shoulder and she's okay. But no, she did not die. And yeah, I'll be honest, guys. I will be perfectly honest. I did do, when we did that, when you see that shot in the trailer of me holding her and me screaming out loud, that was a trailer shot. That was specifically a trailer shot to get you guys in. And I'm sorry I lied about that and I kept that hidden. But sometimes when you got to get your audience, you got to kind of, basically tease people with that. You got to kind of tease and get more people involved. So for me, I really dug doing that shot. And that was just kind of, when we were shooting, we thought, let's do this little tease. Let's kind of tease our audience and make it look like you're going to die. So we did that, and we did a couple takes on that, and that was fantastic. By the way, I do have a backlog of a few behind-the-scenes bloopers and stuff. If you guys want to see those, let me know. Let me know in the chat if you want to see bloopers and outtakes, because I'll definitely put a reel together of some of the funniest moments when we were shooting, because I think that would be really fun. But anyway, yeah, because I've got stuff of when we were shooting on set. I've got bloopers from when I was doing the bits. I have outtakes. I even have webcam footage of JTISREBORN, who voices Cell, and he just did it through video. And it's so funny when he's doing it. I might do a compilation of all the goofy moments he did. I think there's one point where he fell out of his chair. He was just shouting so much. So, in terms of that, which is great. And yeah, I will probably do an audio commentary down the line on this episode and talk about it in more detail, essentially. What was my all-time favorite battle in Dragon Ball? Goku versus Frieza. That was my favorite in the series. But yeah, it was just a lot of fun. By the way, guys, again, thank you so much for watching the 100th episode. If you guys want to support the channel and help us, budgeting on future projects, go down below and support us on Patreon. Just $1 more will get you early access as well as a ton of special features. But if you guys go, support us on Patreon, we really appreciate it because it's going to help us fund more projects. We make a lot on YouTube, but we do want to get more in terms of bigger projects. We want to go bigger. We want to expand. So we definitely want to, go in and do more production work. We want to do more bigger productions. So go check us out on Patreon. As well, if you guys want to send us donations, props, letters, fan art, whatever, please do so at this address, BigJackFilms, P.O. Box 326, Queensville, Ontario, L0G1R0. We definitely like to hear from you guys. And, if you guys have any donations or, want to send us props or costumes or whatever that you don't need, feel free to. So there's that. Also, again, I am going to be putting out VHS copies of my Kong remake. If you guys would like a VHS copy of my movie, go message us, and it's $20 plus shipping. Nothing much, Justin Chad. We're just celebrating the 100th episode, the aftermath, how it all went. There's a lot of Jacks in your show in terms of the Let's Talk and everything. Okay, if you go watch the Gundam Seed review episode, if you want to definitely see the Let's Talk series kind of rebooted, go check out the Gundam Seed episode, because we actually did kill off the Let's Talk Jack. My character is BigJackFilms did come in and just straight up murder him and kind of absorb his show into his own, because I do want to put out more episodes for you guys that are based on the show. So definitely go check that out. Props it. Most shocking thing Nick Jackson said in our chat. Again, we're not doing, we're trying to keep it related to the 100th episode. Hello, I'm new to your channel. I heard because of Inuyasha Dinosaur 101. Great comment. I'll have to stick around. I told him to repeat. Okay, yeah. Yeah, thanks for coming, the Bony Wishbone. I love that name, by the way. Yeah, just, what's my email address? I am inclined to do so unless it's a business, piece. But if you want to send us, a letter or something, again, our mailing address is in the link down below, if you want to go check that out. You're like a modern-day Alfred Hitchcock. No, I see myself as more just like, I don't know, like, I don't want to say Spielberg, because I think that's overrated. Maybe I see myself as more like a Peter Jackson, essentially. I just make big, dumb movies, and apparently you guys love them, and that's what I appreciate the most, is you guys just love whatever pops into my head, and I put on film. And that's the thing I like to do. Like, my show has essentially become my platform into making the films I want to make. And, on a low budget, but it works. So for me, it's like, I think my show has now incorporated that, where I can turn them into films, which I really enjoy, essentially. So that's all fun and dandy. Least favorite story arcs from Dragon Ball Z franchise. I'm not one for season 2, because it is really boring. I'm not one for the Boo Saga. I know a lot of people have their issues, but I think the Boo Saga went on and on and on, and it should have ended like halfway through. GT, I couldn't give a shit about except for Super 17. That's the only arc I gave a crap about. And I like Super, because Super actually basically turns this action show into like a sitcom. It becomes almost like Friends, almost, basically. I would love to see somebody take Dragon Ball Super and combine it with the Friends theme. If someone told you life was gonna be this way. Love that. Hell, somebody do that with my show. Somebody make an intro of my show with the Friends theme. I'll love you to death. That'd be amazing. That's another thing. I do always love fan creations of my show. So definitely go check those out. Like, definitely, if you guys want to make, like, fan videos, fan AMVs, whatever, go do that, and I'll have a blast with them. I might even react to them. And in terms of reactions, yes, I will at some point, maybe do more, like, TV intros of my show. I want to maybe do the Dragon Ball theme. I think that'd be kind of cool. Do, like, either GT or something, like, do, a parody of that. Maybe even Dragon Soul would be good to do as, like, my show. I want to do more of those. But yeah, so I always appreciate the fan stuff. The fans are what keep me going, essentially. And by the way, one more thing. I was going to make a video about this later, but I'll just address it very quickly. I want to give a major thanks to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. The reason for that is because I have my fair share of fans. When I went to G-Faust, I met over 50. And that was the most recognition I got for my work, and I appreciated everybody who met me. But I think I honestly met probably my biggest fan, and that was a kid named Steven. And Steven is about, I'd say, 6 or 7 years old. He's going to be in a wheelchair for the rest of his life, but I want to really thank the Make-A-Wish Foundation for essentially sending him to Japan. They sent this little guy to Japan, and from what I've heard, he's been having a blast. He's actually staying at the Godzilla Hotel in Japan, and God bless him, he's such a great little kid. Love the guy. He's amazing. He's very enthusiastic, and I think he's also known as Godzilla Be Brave. Go check out his channel. He's our biggest fan, essentially. And again, we want to thank Make-A-Wish. We want to thank Make-A-Wish for sending Steven over to Japan, because I'm sure he's having a blast, and I'm sure you just made his wish come true. So, again, a major thanks to Make-A-Wish Foundation for doing that. But I will do a video about that maybe down the line. I don't know when, but sometime down the road. I'll give Steven the recognition he deserves. But, yeah, in terms of yeah, we're just, again, keep it to no requests, guys. No requests. No requests. We're not going to answer. But keep it to the 100th episode, essentially, if you have any questions. You guys want to see the Bert DVD again? For those who missed it. This is literally the copy of Dragon Ball Evolution. This is our legit copy that was actually autographed by the Funimation cast. But I knew if I was going to go hardcore, I had to destroy this thing. This thing is done. Oh my god, look at this thing is done. Like, the fucking DVD is just shut in there. It's crazy. But, yeah, no problem, Brock. Again, thank you so much for joining us. It was fantastic having you. But definitely get going if you need to, man. But yeah, I guess actually while we're at it, we might as well, end this live stream. We just wanted to give out a major thanks to everybody involved on this production, and a very thank you to everybody who watched the 100th episode, all 3 parts. We're going to do a compilation sometime down the road. There's going to be a lot more content coming in, but I just wanted to celebrate tonight because, it's a huge weight off my shoulder, and I'm really proud with how it came out. I'm really happy with it. I'm really glad Toei and anybody hasn't fucking, slapped me with a copyright and everything, so I guess they've appreciated it, which is great. But thank you again, thank you all so much. Yeah, I do deserve rest. I'm gonna probably sleep in, or I'm even gonna start working on the next episode tonight. I don't know. I'll have to figure out what I'm doing. I'm kind of loaded on. I've kind of had a bit of alcohol, so I'm a little tipsy. I'm a very light drinker, and yes, I am getting a ponytail. Essentially, I'm kind of doing that because I want to try something different. But I'm gonna keep them on. I'm gonna keep the long hair. A lot of people like the long hair, so I'm definitely gonna keep that. But again, thank you all so much. I really appreciate everybody who watched the 100th episode. It was a real fun time working on. And yeah, there's going to be a lot more down the line. Of course, once again, if you guys want to support the channel and you guys want to, help us with bigger productions, go link down below and support us on Patreon. Just $1 or more will get you early access to all of our content. Again, if you want to send us donations, letters, fan art, whatever, you can send it to us at this address, BigJackFilms, P.O. Box 326, Queensville, Ontario, L0G1R0. We'd love to hear from you guys, and it's overall fantastic to hear from you and everything. We'll do fan mail fanatics. We'll do more content. Now that this 100th episode's out of the way, it's gonna be a lot easier for us to get more videos done. So again, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Again, share the channel around, share the video around, share the 100th episode around, share it with friends, share it with people who run Dragon Ball. They might get a look at it and be like, this guy knows what he's doing. So I don't know. Until the next video, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys later. This is BigJackFilms signing off, saying 100 episodes down. Let's hope for 200 more. I'll see you guys later. Take it easy. Good night.